Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the John Campea Show here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an honor and a privilege, as it is every day, to have you guys joining me here as we talk about all of our favorite things, movies and television and all that kind of crap. But it's a big day, guys. Black Panther opens today. Maybe somewhere where you are in the world it's already open, not really sure. But it opens today. I know Ann and I are going to go watch it again tonight. We're going to go over to the AMC Burbank 16 and watch it. I've already seen it a couple times, but I'm really excited about watching it again. So it's here. We'll find out what all the hype's about. And by the way, guys, I'm going to let you know that on Saturday, that's this Saturday, at 2 p.m. Pacific Coast time, PST, I believe, yeah, that's 5 p.m. East Coast time, I am doing a live spoiler review and open discussion about Black Panther. So if you guys want to participate in that, you got all day today, you got all day tomorrow, you got the first part of Saturday, the earlier matinees, and then you can come and be a part of that as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know we did that. We did like a live spoiler open discussion for The Last Jedi, and that was great. That was a lot of fun. So we're going to do it again here for Black Panther. Make sure you join me on Saturday. All right, here's how today's show is going to go, guys. I have picked out 3 topics that you guys have emailed into me and told me you want talked about. How do you get a topic or a question on the John Campea Show? It's really simple. You just email me anytime at john@thejohncampeashow.com. Put the word topic in the subject line and make sure you keep that email as short as possible, guys. Absolutely no more than 90 words. Then after that, we're going to take a couple of live questions from you guys, and then we'll call it a day and get ready for the rest of the day. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into it for this first question on Black Panther Day. And the first question today comes to us from Philip Marciano, who writes, the new trailer for The Incredibles 2 dropped earlier this evening. This email obviously came in last night. While I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't move forward in time a little bit, it did feel really consistent with the original, which is good, I guess. So my question is, what did you think of the trailer? Do you think it'll respark the love the fans had for the first one, or is it too little, too late? All right, thanks a lot for the question, man. And you know what? The question of is it too little, too late is a fair question. I mean, The Incredibles came out like so many years ago. I honestly, someday I need to sit down with a Pixar person and really ask, forget the official lines that, oh, it's been waiting about this person. No. I want to sit down with a Pixar person and really find out, why the hell did you guys not move on an Incredibles 2 sooner? It is beyond question, maybe at least one of the most beloved films that you guys have in your catalog. Why did it take so long to do an Incredibles 2? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy it's finally here. I'm just happy it's finally here. But I am still damn curious about what the real behind-the-scenes story is about. Why the hell did you wait so long? Now, is it too little, too late? No, it's not too little, too late. Clearly, a lot of people are still very excited about this property. I am clearly very excited about this property. Do I think they might have lost some gusto waiting this long? Yeah, that's probably fair to say. An Incredibles 2 movie today probably won't do quite as well as an Incredibles 2 movie would have done, say, 4 years ago. But still, I don't think it's a matter of too little, too late. I think there's still plenty of people very excited about this movie. I'm very excited about this movie. Most people I know are very excited about this movie. Can't wait to get out and see it. And yeah, it clearly picks up with the Underminer coming out, which of course was the end of the first Incredibles. They pick up right there. I am like you, where, you know, for the longest time I thought I would love to see them move forward 6 or 7 years. And now, you know, Dash and the other kids are a bit older. Jack is maybe the same age that, you know, Dash was, maybe a little bit younger. I was kind of looking forward to that. But I gotta say, watching the trailer and seeing them pick right up where they left off, and you're right, it does feel insanely consistent. Just the feel of it felt insanely consistent with that first Incredibles movie. I liked it a lot. I'm not jumping up and down out of my chair about it, but I did like the trailer a lot. A little bit later today, I'm going to do a full trailer breakdown like I've been doing recently with some other trailers. So check back on my channel a little bit later today. I'm going to do a full trailer breakdown of that Incredibles 2 trailer, but I liked it quite a bit. It did feel very consistent, and thank goodness it's just finally here, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's move on now to the next question. And the next question today comes to us from one of my Patreon supporters, Amin M, who writes, greetings, John. With everyone talking about how big of a month May is going to be with those big 3 films, of course those big 3 films are Avengers, Solo, and Deadpool 2, I feel as though many are overlooking how big of a month March will be as well, with 5 major films: Red Sparrow, A Wrinkle in Time, Tomb Raider, Pacific Rim, and Ready Player One on the 30th. Thoughts on this crazy month? And you know what? I mean, you're right. We have been so focused on those big 3 movies coming out in May: Avengers Infinity War, Solo: A Star Wars Story, and Deadpool 2, that we have kind of overlooked March. And that March is going to be a fairly big month as well. You can see them here. Ray did a nice job putting the sidebar together. Red Sparrow, Wrinkle in Time on the March 9th. March 16th, we got Tomb Raider. March 23rd, Pacific Rim. March 30th, Ready Player One. So why are so many people overlooking March? I think there's a couple of reasons why people are overlooking March. Number one is when you look at the big 3 movies coming out in May: Infinity War, Solo, Deadpool 2. I think you can make an argument against this, totally fair, but I think any one of those 3 movies would beat any one of these movies. I think if you took any one of those 3 movies in May and dropped it in March, that movie would become the number 1 movie of March. I think Avengers Infinity War would be the number 1 movie in this March. I think Solo: A Star Wars Story, even though I don't think it's going to do great, I think it would be the number 1 movie in this month. And definitely I think Deadpool would be the number 1 movie in this month. So I think that's one of the big reasons why people kind of look past March to May, because you've got these big 3 major films opening up all at the same time. I'm also going to say this. I don't think any one of them's, maybe save for this one right here, Ready Player One. I think Ready Player One's going to be the number 1 box office film out of that month. Now, some of you might disagree. Some of you might think Pacific Rim Uprising. Some of you might say Tomb Raider. But the reality is, I'm looking forward to Tomb Raider, but it hasn't generated a lot of buzz. The trailers haven't thrilled a lot of people. I've actually quite liked, especially the first trailer. I liked the first trailer quite a bit. Wasn't super thrilled with the second one. The Pacific Rim trailers honestly haven't done much for me. Wrinkle in Time, it might be fantastic, but I'll be honest with you, nothing about those trailers have enticed me to want to rush out and buy my tickets in advance. I'm a big Disney fan, but I mean, I'm just being honest. Nothing about these spots for Wrinkle in Time have, motivated me to want to rush onto Fandango and get my tickets in advance. It just hasn't happened. And I'm very much looking forward to Red Sparrow, but I'm not hearing much buzz from people. I'm not hearing, like on this show, on my Twitter, I'm not hearing a lot of people going, man, can't wait for Red Sparrow. And let's be honest, as much as I really love the first Pacific Rim didn't make all that much money. Like, it struggled to get over 400 million worldwide. Struggled to get over 400 million worldwide. So I don't think this is going to be like a $700 million film. I actually think, so I still really think that Ready Player One is probably going to be the top box office. Now, which one will be the best film? That's a totally separate question. I have a feeling the best film will either be Red Sparrow or Ready Player One. Ready Player One simply because it's being directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's based on great source material. Red Sparrow, I think, looks fascinating. Again, to me, the jury is completely out on those 3 middle films. Wrinkle in Time, Tomb Raider, and Pacific Rim. For me, all 3 of those, to me, the jury's out on that. I'm just going to have to wait and see it. The ones I have higher expectations for, quality-wise, are Red Sparrow and Ready Player One, and I think Ready Player One's going to walk away with the box office on that one. But again, I think we're looking past it, because those 3 May movies, I think all of them overshadow any of the films in this particular month here. So that's just my thought. Maybe you guys think differently about that, which is totally cool. All right, let's move on now to the final emailed in question of the day. And the final emailed in question today comes to us from Gutti Alvarez, who writes, "Hello, John. Love the show. Thank you so much. Heard Shane Black's The Predator was pushed back from summer release. That's one of my most anticipated films of the year. Should we be worried about this?" Okay. Yes. Now, a lot of you guys probably saw the headlines going around, Predator delayed, Predator delayed. And it's true. It's those are factual headlines. Heck, I even think the title in my video here is Predator pushed back. It's a true headline. However, should you be worried? Because normally when we hear that a movie's been pushed back, usually gets pushed back 3, 4, 5 months. I mean, Alita Battle Angel just got pushed back like 6 months. 6 months. So does that raise some concerns and questions? That's usually a fair question to ask. It's not always the case that a movie gets pushed because of problems. Sometimes they just push it because they figure it'll do better in a certain release date as opposed to the one they originally picked. Sometimes it means there's problems, but not always. With Predator, I don't think it has anything to do with problems with the film, because they've moved it from August 3rd, if I'm remembering that, I think it was August 3rd. It's early August to, I believe, September 14th. So that's like 1 week or 1 month and an extra week and a half. So 5 to 6 weeks. It's only been pushed 5 to 6 weeks. Now, I heard some people talking that the main motivation of the studio to move it to that date revolves around they saw what It did in the box office in September. That's what I heard. And I'll be honest with you, I can't even remember, when It came out. It release date. Let me just look that up. It did. It came out in September 8th of 2017. So I heard some people whispering that the studio just thought, you know what? It really hit it big. And we think that although Predator and It are very different movies, we think they appeal to basically the same demographic. And since It did so unexpectedly well in September, which traditionally has not been a hot release month, they're thinking maybe we can take advantage of that too, and maybe Predator can do well in that situation. So whether that's true or not, I have no idea. That's just some of the whispers I've been hearing. But a film moving 6 weeks doesn't suggest to me in any way, shape, or form that something's wrong. Now, look, maybe Predator will be a giant bag of crap. It's being done by Shane Black, who I have a lot of faith in. I loved his last film, The Nice Guys. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. I mean, I really like Shane Black. Okay, I just really like Shane Black. So I trust it's going to be pretty good, but it could be a total disaster. But I don't think them moving it 6 weeks really suggests any kind of a major problem. To me, that tends to make me believe the rumor that they just moved it to maybe try to recapture some of the magic that It captured in an early September release date. So we'll just have to keep our eyes open for that and see if that's what pans out. All right, guys, that'll do it for the pre-selected questions. Now, before I go into the live questions, I'm going to just take a minute to do my admittedly completely shameless plug for the thing that keeps the lights on around here, which is, of course, my Patreon campaign. So check out this 1 minute shameless plug for my Patreon campaign, and I'll be back in just 1 minute. For those of you who have followed me for any period of time, you guys know that I made the decision recently to leave the corporate overlords. I no longer wanted to work for corporations. I wanted to be an independent content creator. And the only way I've been able to do that is by the support of my Patreon supporters. So what I would like to do is to ask you guys who watch my shows, who spend any amount of time with me every single month, to consider going over to www.patreon.com/John Campea. There you'll get all the information about what exactly does it mean to be a Patreon supporter of mine? What does being a Patreon supporter do for helping to make sure that shows like this one and all the other shows I do here on my channel can actually be produced? And on top of that, what benefits are there to being a Patreon supporter? And maybe if you guys can check that out, if you decide you want to be one of my Patreon supporters, that would be awesome. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine too. I'm just happy that you guys have decided to be here today and be a fellow movie fan and join us in the conversation. So go and check out the website, see if you want to become a Patreon supporter. And now let's get back. All right, guys, and a special thank you to all of you who are already Patreon supporters. Seriously, guys, you guys are the reason this channel is even able to exist. So many thanks to you guys for that. All right, with that out of the way, let's move on to some of the live questions. By the way, guys, I have all the live questions I can handle right now. So if you have not yet sent in a live question on Super Chat, cut it off right now. No more live, no more Super Chats. Curtis Lopez at 812 is going to be the last one that I'm going to take there. All right, let's get going on these Super Chat questions. And this first one comes to us from Mason Barr, who writes, YouTube recommended a video, Best of Campea, Cumberbatch is Khan. I have no idea what that means. There are several videos called Best of Campea on YouTube, but the Best of Campea Cumberbatch is Khan, I have no idea what that is, Mason, so I am as bewildered as you are over that. All right, Sujith writes, film is further evidence for the increasing ability of humans to transcend time. Like you, I want to speak into the minds of the living long after I'm gone. Thanks for the inspiration. And that is one of the beautiful things about film, right? It's an enduring message that goes on forever. I mean, the philosophers would say we all search for that seed of immortality, and film is certainly one of those avenues, and yet one of the other reasons why I just love film so much. Michael Anderson writes, Currently watching Return of the King after a massive Lord of the Rings binge. To me, these movies represent the pinnacle in cinema. They mean as much to me as the original Star Wars trilogy means to you. Well, you know, that's the thing. I talk a lot about, and this has come up a number of times, but it bears repeating here, is that I really do consider, particularly Return of the King, as the single greatest overall achievement in filmmaking history. I'm not saying it's the best movie in filmmaking history. I'm saying it's the greatest overall achievement in filmmaking history. When you consider, like, all the various disciplines, you guys have heard me say this, but all the various disciplines that go into filmmaking, cinematography, writing, costuming, visual effects, the acting, on and on and on, makeup, blah, blah, blah. All the disciplines that go in, when you look at Lord of the Rings Return of the King, which swept almost every Oscar, and it did sweep every nomination it was nominated for. All 11 nominations, they won. I don't think we've ever seen an example of one movie that did all of it so well. All of it so well. I don't think we've seen movies that are better than Return of the King, sure, but we've never seen a movie execute like that in film history. So it is a film that really is to be admired on many different levels. And just, it's a great movie on its own. It's just a great movie. Thanks a lot for that, Michael. The next one comes to us from Jason Than, who writes, your thoughts on Black Panther's post-credit scenes. Well, I'm not going to tell you what the post-credit scenes are. We can talk more about the post-credit scenes on Saturday when I do the spoiler review open discussion. But I will tell you, as is the pattern, there are two post-credit scenes. One that happens about a minute into the credits, and one that happens at the very, very end of the credits. I'll say this, I like them both. Neither of them blow my socks off. One of them will have big implications on the MCU as a whole. The other one is just kind of cool. It's just cool to see. It doesn't really have any big implications or anything like that, but they're both cool, and I both like them. I'm not jumping them down on my seat about them, but I will say stick around for them. They're definitely worth sticking around for. Daniel Biggs writes, watch Emoji Movie or a 150 Shades movie. You know what? I'll take the 50 Shades movie, because at least in the 50 Shades movie, I'll get some giggles, and that's about it. I didn't even have any giggles in the Emoji Movie. I would literally watch the trilogy of 50 Shades again before I would watch the Emoji Movie again. The Emoji Movie is just that bad. Where are we now? Sujith writes again, would you want to take part in a Screen Junkies movie fight anytime soon? Hal Rudnick is hosting now. It's more of a one-on-one show these days. I was on Screen Junkie. I was on movie fights. Was I on movie fights once? I think I was on it once. I believe I won the time that I was there. And it was a good time. I have a lot of respect for the people over at Screen Junkies. Huge amount of respect for the people at Screen Junkies. Whether you're talking about Roth Cornett, or you're talking about Dan, or you're talking about Hal. I like a lot of the people over there, and I really, really admire. I can't emphasize how much I admire. Now, their stuff isn't for everybody. For sure it's not. But I really admire the way they, number one, handled, and number two, recovered from and adjusted after the controversy. And I'm not going to go into the controversy. You guys know what it is. I have just a huge amount of respect for how they dealt with it and how they emerged from it on the other side. And I hope for nothing but good things for those guys. I don't know if I'd be all that interested in going back and doing a movie fights again. I'm not really sure what it would be. First of all, nobody can debate me. So it'd be like sending in, a bodybuilder to have a fight with a first grader. It's just no challenge. I'm being a bit facetious here. But no, I don't know. Look, if Hal called me, I like Hal a great deal. If Hal called me and they asked me to be on it, maybe I'd do it. I'm not jumping up and down to do it at this point, though. I'm just really more concerned and more focused on the stuff that I'm doing. But a huge, mad respect for the guys over there. Let's see. Cameron Peterson writes, seeing Black Panther tonight, is it in your top 5 MCU? I don't know if it's in my top 5. It's my favorite since, because we've had 4 other MCU movies since Civil War. And I think all the movies since Civil War, I think Black Panther is my favorite. But in my top 5, Because in my top 5 in no particular order, I got, Winter Soldier, I got Avengers, I've got Civil War, I've got the first Thor movie. Then there's, I don't know, maybe Iron Man, the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Ant-Man. I don't know. It might take that 5th spot for me. It's a real good movie. I've already seen it a couple times. I'm going to go and see it again tonight. It is a really good movie. Top 5? I don't know. It might get the number 5 spot, but I'm not really confident about that. But you guys are going to enjoy it. You guys are going to have a good time with it. Sue just says, got my tickets for Black Panther for Saturday. So excited. And so you should be excited. It's a really fun time. Curtis Lopez writes, you may think I'm crazy, but if it weren't for the drug use and DUI, Lindsay Lohan could have had a very promising career. In my opinion, she was a very good actress during her Mean Girl days. Hey, look, I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't know that she would have made it great. We've seen many, many actors do great things when they're younger and then just kind of disappear. But Lindsay Lohan is probably a little bit of a different scenario. Publicly, she became a train wreck. And whether or not that perception is fair or not, maybe it's not fair. But that's kind of the public perception. And it is a shame that her career was kind of self-sabotaged. And then there were some rumors about arguments and problems with her parents. And I don't know what's what. I don't know what the facts are. But I will agree with you that her career would have done more. Whether she would have progressed on to be an A-lister for the rest of her career, whether she just would have made a few more splashes, I will at least say her career would have been more if it wasn't for all the controversy and the self-inflicted damage that she did. So, and who knows? Hey man, Hollywood loves a comeback. Film fans love a comeback. So I'm not ready to write her off yet. I'm not. Good topic, Curtis. I appreciate that. Mason writes, I've never seen Game of Thrones. Should I? Honestly, yes. Look, I am not the world's biggest Game of Thrones fan. Especially the first few seasons. I liked Game of Thrones, the first few seasons. I haven't really gotten into it except for these last couple seasons. And this last season, I don't know what the hell is with some people. Like, I'm reading some people talking about how I can only assume they must be the book snobs. They're like crapping on season 7. Look, I didn't read the books, so I don't give a fuck. I didn't read the books, nor do I intend to. But I've liked Game of Thrones. I thought season 7 was the best season. Now, I said that to a group once, and somebody said to me, you think season 7 was better than The Red Wedding? I didn't say it had the best single episode. No, nothing in season 7 matches. There's not a lot in television history that matches The Red Wedding episode, okay? But I think overall as a season, I just really felt everything coming together really well, and I thought it was exciting and fun and some great twists, and I just love season 7 the most. And I'm finding, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm just finding a number of the people that I've talked to who crap on season 7, usually when I dig, I find, oh, so you're actually just one of the book snobs. Like, you're one of those people that only people who've read the books are the true Game of Thrones fans, and only the book stuff is the true Game of... Yeah, okay, never mind. Then I'm not even going to bother talking to you, because there's just, you're clearly dug into your trench, and I'm not going to get you out, so I'm not going to bother. Not that everybody who's read the books are like that. Not at all. Just a small fragment of them. But I just don't get it. But I would suggest yes. And I actually kind of envy you, Mason, that you haven't watched them yet. Because now you get to watch them for the first time. And I think you'll get hooked on it. Aaron Wright writes, Event Horizon is only 24% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why so low? Because it sucks. That's my question on Event Horizon is, why is it so high? I mean, hey, look, some of you out there may love Event Horizon, and Aaron, you may really appreciate it a lot, and that's great. I celebrate that. I'm not going to try to talk you out of that. That's awesome that you enjoyed it. I thought it was terrible. So I'm actually a little bit surprised that it's that high, to be honest with you. But that's just my opinion. All film is subjective. Chris Miner writes, are you a fan of Bret Hart, good Canadian wrestler? Oh, of course. Yeah. I grew up watching wrestling. I was growing up watching Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Jimmy the Mouth of the South, the Hart Foundation doing their thing. When they would go against guys like the British Bulldogs, the Rougeaus. I mean, who remembers the Killer Bees? I mean, I was really young, but B. Brian Blair and Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, the Killer Bees, man. But yes, I am a big fan of Bret the Hitman Hart. I mean, obviously, he's done some stupid stuff in his life. Yes, all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, his nickname in wrestling was the excellence of execution. He was just a beautiful, beautiful wrestler to watch wrestle. It was a beautiful experience watching Bret the Hitman Hart wrestle. And, yeah, I am a fan of Bret Hart. Comes from a long lineage. Actually, he still has family. The Hart family is probably like the royal family in wrestling. And even some of the biggest wrestlers today have their lineage to the Hart family. So it's pretty cool. DAL Official writes, have you seen Altered Carbon on Netflix? That's got to be like the 18th time I've been asked that on Super Chat, and I will answer the same thing. No, I haven't watched it yet. I had a buddy of mine, actually, I was on a call with a buddy of mine the other day, and he actually brought up, he said he's watching Altered Carbon. He said he's liking it. He didn't love it, but I'm having a lot of people ask me about it, have not had a time to watch it yet, but I will get around to watching it, I promise. Sharon Aurora writes, favorite / overrated / most hated music album of yours? Well, I'm not going to go into 18 topics. I said my favorite album of all time is 1987's U2's The Joshua Tree album. I think the Joshua Tree album is the greatest album of all time. And some people will say to me, well, John, you just say that because U2's my favorite band. No, U2's my favorite band because I think the Joshua Tree album is the greatest album of all time. Cobra writes, what about A Bug's Life 2? Will we ever get that? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's... I don't think they were ever really... I like Bug's Life, to be honest with you, but I don't think Bug's Life 2 is anything that would ever be on their radar. James Welsh writes, Battle Angels moved to same weekend as Bumblebee and Aquamarine. Thoughts? Well, I don't think it moved to the same weekend as... I think it moved to the same month. I could be wrong about that, but I think it just moved to the same month. Intriguing. I don't know how good... First of all, the trailer didn't look all that great to me, to be honest. So moving it into December is interesting. But then again, look, there are no home run hitters in December right now. Aquaman by no means is a guaranteed home run hitter. Bumblebee by no means, especially considering the performance of the last Transformers movie, Bumblebee by no means is an automatic home run. So it's really not all that bad of a move when you think about it. It's not like there's... an Avengers 4 in December. It's not like Star Wars Episode 9 is in December. So I don't actually think it's all that bad of a move. I do think like the 6-month push is concerning, but we'll have to see. Mason Barr writes, have you seen the TV series Firefly? Oh yeah, I've talked about Firefly many times. Actually, Ann and Corey and I even started doing Firefly retro reviews. We stopped doing them because nobody was watching them. So we got about like 3 or 4 episodes in to doing retro reviews on the Firefly series, but we only were getting like 1,000 people watching it. Like 1,000 people overall would watch the videos, and it's like, well, there's no point in really continuing doing this. But yeah, I love Firefly. Absolutely love that series. And Serenity is even if you've never seen Firefly, you'll have a deeper appreciation for everything in Serenity if you watch Firefly. But Serenity is a movie you can watch and appreciate even without watching the show. It's a great sci-fi movie. I love that movie. Sharon writes again, thoughts on the new look calves? They look great. First of all, look, I don't know why they ever got Isaiah Thomas, whose physical health is a huge question mark. I have no idea why they brought over Dwayne Wade. The guy's well past... I'm a huge fan of Dwayne Wade, but he's so past his prime. He can't defend. And Derrick Rose, yeah, he was an MVP once, but he has been a shell of his former self. Like, just that alone, I was like, what? I never understood those moves in the first place. They've gotten younger. They've gotten better defensively. And when you get better defensively, you free up LeBron more to do more of what he does. And now you're seeing them take... Like, they've beat Boston. They've beat OKC. They've beat... I mean... I think they're on a 4 or 5 game win streak. Anyway, they look great, and I think now I believe they will win the East. I still don't think they can beat the Golden State Warriors, and I still don't think they can beat the Houston Rockets. I think either the Golden State Warriors or the Houston Rockets, whichever one of those 2 teams gets out of the West, I think one of those 2 teams will win the NBA title this year, but the Cavs certainly look much better. Where'd it go? In Poor Taste Humor writes, I suggest using different intro music for your other shows. Nah, I'm happy with mine. Really, nobody's going to watch or not watch any of my videos because of my intro music. My intro music is my music. It identifies my videos as mine. So, I mean, hey, it's a totally valid point to bring up because in my other jobs that I've had. I use different intro music for different shows, but no, I like it. I like the music, and again, it won't make me get any more viewers or make me lose any viewers, so I'm just going to stick with my music because it's an identifying thing. But totally fair question. Totally fair point. Geek Out Loud writes, when you go camping, is it intense? No, I'm a pretty chill camper. Now, I haven't gone camping in years because there's not a lot of camping to do in Los Angeles. I like camping in Canada. But no, it's pretty relaxed. It's not intense. We go, set up our tents, you know, make a fire, bring our coolers of food, do some cooking, do some fishing, do some swimming. It's really chill, actually. I'm not like an extreme camper or anything like that. Chris P writes, John, your show is awesome. F the Eagles. Now, man, I loved the Eagles. I thought the Eagles played. Look, that Super Bowl was a great game. It was a great game. I couldn't have asked for more. It was exciting. It was back and forth. My favorite player, Tom Brady, throws for over 500 yards in the Super Bowl, 3 touchdowns, nearly brings his team all the way back. Unfortunately, Tom Brady can't play defense and stuff, but I thought the Eagles were great. I'm a huge fan of Nick Foles. I told everybody Nick Foles is real. All the Philly fans who were crying, oh no, Wentz is down. And I was like, guys, Nick Foles is no joke. He will do wonders for you guys, and he did. Let's see. Koba writes, Pacific Rim 2 releases exactly 1 year before Godzilla 2. Could Legendary release the first trailer then? Why would they? What would be the point? I mean, theoretically, could you? If you wanted to. But why? You think releasing a trailer 1 year in advance is going to do nothing for your box office? Nothing. Everybody's going to forget about it eventually. You're not going to have anything. You're not going to have enough material to make a really memorable trailer anyway. So, I mean, theoretically they could, but it would be really dumb. It would just totally be a waste of money. And like, yeah, it's just far too soon. I really hope they don't. And the last question, because I said Curtis Lopez was going to be the final question I take today at 8:12. The final question from Curtis Lopez is, somebody's trying to spoil something in the chat. Well, that's really unfortunate. Clearly, whoever that person is a moron and shouldn't be around. So, yes, there we go. All right, thanks for that. Anyway, guys, that will do. Now, I see there are a couple of other live chats that came in after I said I'm not going to be taking any more. Don't worry, guys. I will take those and I will use those in Open Mic a little bit later today. By the way, Open Mic is on today at 3 p.m. And, guys, look, I'm going to let you in on a little something. You know what? No, I'm not. I want to talk to my Patreon supporters about this first, then I'll talk to you guys about it. But might be a little bit of a change. Nothing drastic, but a little bit of a change coming that I'll talk to you guys about a little bit later. All right, guys, that will do it for me for this installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, it is Black Panther Day. Congratulations to all you guys who already have your tickets for tonight or are going to go see it tomorrow, whatever. I'm very excited that you guys get to watch it for the first time. Don't forget our live, totally open, spoiler-free, or not spoiler-free, spoiler-indulgent review of Black Panther and open discussion is going to be on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you guys make plans to come around for that because we're just going to talk Black Panther. All openly, talk about every detail in the film. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, a little bit later today, look for my video on the shot-by-shot trailer breakdown for The Incredibles 2 trailer. Also coming a little bit later today is, since Black Panther's opening tonight, I thought we would look at some of the best performances that Chadwick Boseman, the king himself, has given us in his career, and he's given us some really good ones. So that video is coming a little bit later today too. And then, of course, Open Mic at 3 o'clock Pacific Time. So that'll do it for me, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. My name's John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.